It is September 26th, 2023. NXT, the go-home show for No Mercy. No sleep till Bakersfield. This is the Wrestling Inc. podcast. I'm Glenn, joined by Issa. And tonight, we're going to talk about a shockingly strong go-home show to the point where I'm like, I was going to watch No Mercy. Now I might get in the car and drive to Bakersfield. It's 5 hours each way. But I'm like, I kid you not, I haven't felt this hyped about an NXT PLE in a long time. They've had some great ones.
Yeah, I'm super hyped about it. I think tonight was a great go home show, and I think it makes it exciting.
Super exciting. I mean, and when you think about this card, we'll talk about how this all shook out, but this doesn't quit, and you've got some elements of surprise. Will Judgment Day show up to help Dirty Dom retain that North American Championship? Will they do something crazy and have Jade Cargill make a surprise appearance and debut? Will Brian Pillman Jr., who blink and you miss it, there was a little teaser vignette tonight, will he show up?
You just jumped on my topic for today. I was like, there's no need to pull up news. The entire wrestling world is talking about Jade Cargill signing with WWE, not just signing with WWE. She got that big star treatment, that big deal treatment. ESPN with the announcement, everybody talking about it, trending #1 in the United States. So Glenn, what do you think about Jade signing with WWE?
I mean, this is huge. When's the last time they made an announcement like this?
I can't remember.
I mean, it's one thing if they get someone in the NIL program or that.
Like a former athlete that's known,
they've done some things before, but it's usually like, hey, we're going to work with them. But normally, no. Cody just showed up.
Yeah.
I think Logan Paul just showed up.
Yeah.
Normally, they show don't tell, and we have somebody make a surprise appearance, even like Ronda Rousey, where it was super telegraphed the first time.
I mean, here's one of the things that like crossed my mind today is like, if we're gonna have her train at the Performance Center and not just a PR, let's get a couple of pictures and let's officially, first shout out to her, because the first assignment, she walked that NXT parking lot like a boss today. WWE had a video of it, no attacks, no nothing. That made me very happy for her. But if she's gonna train at the Performance Center, they're not gonna be able to keep it a secret. Yeah. You know what I mean? People, it's going to get out. Look at the whole Randy Orton thing. It got out. So I feel like maybe the announcement was also a little bit of that, because she might be at the Performance Center for a bit. But after you watch the hype, don't you feel like, man, how long do we wait until we make her a part of everything before? You don't want the buzz from today to go away. Like, it was crazy. It was exciting. I'm super happy. I think I always talked about how Jade is a star. She just oozes that it factor. And in ring, that stuff can be taught. That star quality is just, not everybody has it, and she has it. I mentally booked her in like 10 different fields depending on what show she would end up at. So I'm just like super excited for her, and it seems like she's coming with the same name. I don't know about the music, but we're just getting that presentation. She just felt like, and no offense, but I mean, I've been very vocal. I'm on the Wednesday night podcast, and I've been very vocal about the AEW women's division. I felt like Jay felt like a bigger deal today with just the news of her signing that she did that entire 50 winning streak that she had in AEW.
Yes. I mean, and they gave her that to make, she had the secondary title. She had the TV title in AEW. WWE is making her seem like a huge freaking deal. And my thought is, I could see her debuting on the main roster. I feel bad because I think it'll be SmackDown. And I think that Io Sky, I think Jade's going to take that quickly from her in some capacity, because they want to launch her at the top.
There's so many feuds you can do and not put a title on the line with her, though, on SmackDown, Raw, or NXT.
I agree, but I just have this hunch that they're going to want to make her a dominant champion, because that was her gimmick in AEW. You can't have somebody that had Goldberg-style run and then bring them in.
But you can have her go through a few people before you put her in a title picture.
Actually, you know what I would do?
What would you do, Glenn?
I would do something along the line of have a multi-woman match for the number one contender, and then have Jade come in and like pin every single one of them, and then later that night challenge Io for the title.
Here's what I would do.
Yeah.
I will have her come in and attack Becky Lynch like a vampire. And then I will have her eliminate everybody at the Elimination Chamber. And when you think she's going to be the most dominant person we ever seen, she loses at WrestleMania. Hi, Shayna Baszler. Man, they screwed that up. They can't screw it up with Jade. They can't screw it up with Jade.
I know.
But I know a lot of people, like, that match was so controversial. But you just said Jade pinning everyone. I love Shayna Baszler making it through everyone at that Elimination Chamber to the point that she had to sit there and wait for the next person to come out at the end. I love that. Like, if you debut someone like that, it makes an impact. People talk about it. We'll see. I just feel like her winning the title should go down in one of the big pay-per-views. And right now, it just feels like this is the low season for wrestling. Like Royal Rumble is when everything really picks up. I call that the playoffs of wrestling start Royal Rumble, you know? So I'm curious to see how they're going to treat her. But did you notice it wasn't mentioned in tonight's episode? I thought they would continue to mention it on every show until she finally shows up. And they didn't mention it at all. I thought they would show her at the Performance Center.
Which makes me think, I love Tiffany Stratton. It makes zero sense for Tiffany Stratton to beat Becky Lynch Saturday, especially, and Issa, I know you were out Friday because of you were distraught over what happened to WWE's stock price.
Don't even get me started on that.
And like an idiot. Never mind. I was like, oh, it's down. I should buy a little. It hasn't come back yet, but that's okay. Not a financial expert, but knock on wood. So no, I think that Becky needs to stay in NXT until they renegotiate that rights deal. They got to keep NXT ratings hot. Tonight, I think it's going to do a good rating. I don't think it's going to do what it did the last 2 weeks, which is a shame. I hope people stuck around. I hope people that tuned in for Becky and liked the product tuned in.
Dom was there, and tonight was an excellent episode. We'll get into it, but
that mullet is good for like 100,000 viewers right there.
Oh, that's low. The mullet, like, we didn't just get a mullet tonight, Glenn. We got a mullet in a black eye.
I know.
That's $500,000. That's okay. 250,000 minimum just for the black eye and the mullet. Come on.
But if Jade beats Becky Lynch and then they work a feud on NXT, that's going to bring eyeballs. That's going to.
The problem is that the way they announced her today, it doesn't feel very NXT, and the fact that they didn't mention her in the show already had me thinking like.
That's why, because you want a surprise, much like
maybe she'll show up at the end of No Mercy. There's so many possibilities of things
Becky
happening
retains,
right now.
She shows up and stares down Becky.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's great, though. But that being said, if she were to win the NXT title, she's got to defend that. I don't like the idea of her coming to WWE and having a secondary title again. That's the only thing that I don't like about that idea. But look, tonight was great. We're going to dive into. Is there anything else in the news aside?
No, I just really wanted to just talk about Jade because I know that you just love her, and I love her, and I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, now everybody's a Jade fan. I feel like we all just been waiting for her to be treated like the star that she is. Like, no matter what kind of criticism you have about her, Jade has star power, and I don't feel like anybody that watches wrestling like didn't see it. And I feel like here it's going to happen. It's very hard to not be green in the ring when you're wrestling once every 3 months. That's what she was doing. She's going to train. Like the first thing that they showed us she was doing today was training at the Performance Center. It's a whole different, but this is the major leagues, baby. They're going to take care of her and they're going to hide her weaknesses. They're going to showcase her strength. Like this is different. I'm very excited. So I just wanted to just talk to you about it a little bit. I know we have a couple of super chats and we can get into.
We're going to get to them all. But here's the question: will there be a new group of baddies, and who do you put as Jade Cargill's new WWE baddies?
Definitely Chelsea Green because she's gonna be scared of her.
I think JC Jane.
Oh, that's a good one, JC. I mean, Thea Hale is a baddie now. Like, look at her.
Oh my God.
I love that idea. The baddie section was a thing that they also did not capitalize on.
I know.
I remember when Jay sent that tweet that was like, hey, my girl, send me pictures. I'm going to get you in the baddie section in the arenas. That should have been something they capitalized on. They barely
WWE.
ever showed it.
That's like some Attitude Era shit in WWE. Like that could go really bad. That could go really bad.
You have a valid point there. You have a valid point.
It'll be like that one pay-per-view that never gets mentioned and isn't on the network that they did with another brand.
Let's move on.
Yes. Okay. Some super chats. Ryan Ramirez, $1.99. Love Tonight's show was a good go-home show. Absolutely.
We agree with you, Ryan.
It was a phenomenal go-home show. Again, I'm thinking about driving to Bakersfield.
I want to make sure everybody knows, though, and I know I have some people because I raid this channel when I finish my stream. I called. I didn't want to see Mustafa Ali. I didn't want to see any of the releases, but as soon as that happened, and I knew that Dom's match was just now like a question mark, I said Trick Williams. I just want everybody to know that. I just want everybody to know that because everybody's going to be like, oh, I knew that's what I was going to be. I have it on record.
Okay.
I have it on record. I had the receipts.
Alvin Everett, $1.99. Damien or Finn can help Dom, right?
Yeah.
Rhea's in Australia, I believe, according to the chat.
She's injured. Damien it's Damien Priest's birthday today, so hopefully he's done celebrating by Sunday. Or Saturday.
We can go to Bakersfield.
I mean, who doesn't want to celebrate their birthday in Bakersfield?
The band Korn is from Bakersfield.
Wow, fun facts.
Yes. So Alvin Everett, $4.99. Imagine being Jade Cargill and seeing there's a backstage fight with the owner being scared for his life.
Listen, Shawn Michaels did look a little scared at the end of NXT there.
Yes.
Somebody in the chat said Shawn Michaels has the worst office. Agreed.
Ron Taylor, Al Snow's office in the Wrestlers on Netflix. Al Snow's office at OVW is nicer than Shawn Michaels' office. Ron Taylor, $5, saying Jade will be Rock level talent and headline night 2 of WrestleMania within 3 to 5 years, maybe sooner. Wow.
I love it. Calling some big things there for Jade. Hope you're right. This could be a game changer if done right. It's done right, please, because people throw the game changer thing a little too loose on social media, same with the GOAT overuse. But keep in mind that I said if done right.
Yes. It's remarkable how often the game stays the same.
Exactly.
Mia Lee, $4.99. NXT is cooking. Definitely my favorite show. And imagine the visual of Jade and Trick together would be fire.
Oof, I love that. And NXT is always cooking. I always say people be sleeping on NXT. I know Glenn and I have been covering it for a long time, so we don't sleep on NXT. It's our job to watch it, but I have fun watching NXT. I wish that would get done with the overrun though. The overrun kills the vibe for me. And it feels like some things drag that don't need to drag. This show could end in 2 hours.
Yeah. That's part of the reason, again, why I want to go to No Mercy. And I urge people, if you have the chance to go to No Mercy. For the overrun, Glenn? No, I want to go there because it would be nice to be around NXT fans.
Go, Glenn, go.
I know.
I wish I lived closer to you. I would be that bad influence getting in your car, like with my mask. We'll be like, getting looser. We're going to Bakersfield.
Going to Bakersfield. I drive through Bakersfield on my way back because from Vegas you don't have to go through LA to go to Northern California. You can cross over and go to Bakersfield. You know, it's funny. We almost moved to Fresno. Fresno was like our first choice before Vegas.
Why?
And then Vegas, property values, like we could have gotten more house there.
I get that. You're like an adult and you care about that kind of stuff. And I would have been like, Vegas, baby.
And Fresno has a lot of like new stuff. Like everything, every chain, everything's like in Fresno. Like we really considered it. But then Vegas seemed better. So okay. Yes, I could take the 99. Well, Vicky, you take like the 50 over to the 99 to go to Bakersfield. Anyhow, let's talk about NXT tonight.
Please.
One of the greatest go-home shows in the history of NXT for No Mercy. They're putting over Bakersfield. People are going to be not only going to Bakersfield for No Mercy, people are going to be moving to Bakersfield.
They're going to have like a crazy expectation, and then they're going to get there and be like, oh, this is it.
But isn't it weird tonight? They didn't say like, oh, he wants to punch his ticket to go to No Mercy. It was like, he wants to punch his ticket to go to Bakersfield.
They really mentioned the Vice City.
Yeah, I mean, they mentioned it a lot.
I started saying just Bakersfield instead of No Mercy, even during my watch along.
I mean, at
one point, they started showing a video package for Australia, and I was like, "Is this Bakersfield? It looks nice." No, they were just talking about Elimination Chamber Australia, but they were talking so much about Bakersfield that I thought, "Oh, look, Bakersfield's even getting a video package."
Yes. No, MDB 999, one of the greatest go-home shows NXT has ever done, in the sense that I was looking forward. Look, we knew about some of these matches for quite some time. Braun versus Baron, we knew. Carmella versus Dragunov, we knew.
Tiffany and Becky, we know for 2 weeks. Yeah.
Like, but there was like, they did some cool stuff to build this tonight, and these matches are a little unpredictable. I think it's gonna be really interesting to see how this plays out. So let's talk about what happened tonight. We opened the show with the finals of the NXT Global Heritage Invitational. Who is going to face Noam Dar? Will it be Joe Coffey or Butch? And Issa, who won tonight?
Butch. This was a banger, though. This was a banger. Almost could have been match of the night, but that's a hard one because there's a lot of matches that could have been match of the night. But man, this boy showed up.
Great night for wrestling. So if Butch beats Noam Dar, does he get to change his name? Does he get to change his name back to Pete Dunne?
No, I like saying Butch. It's grown on me. Like, I got used to it. But you know what? I will say I didn't get used to it like Gunther. Gunther just comes naturally to me. I barely think that he was Walter. With Butch, you always think about Pete Dunne. You know what I mean? Like, it stays in the back of your head. Gunther is Gunther to me. Does that make sense?
Butch should win, and they should let him grow his hair back out. They should give him the cut-up bath mat again to wear over his shoulders.
No, come on. No. That thing was nasty. It looked like it smelled. Like, it smelled.
So, this was a phenomenal match to open the show. Joe Coffey versus Butch. Butch has that name recognition. He's a main roster star. He's an NXT legacy legend. It seemed obvious he was going to win, but still, this was just a great bell-to-bell wrestling match to open the show tonight.
Yeah, the metaphor we're watching in the lounge, they're messy. They're messy like a season of Love Blind on Netflix, but I love them. I'm still rooting for Butch on Saturday. I want to see Noam Dar fall apart.
Yeah, it is pretty good. I think it's going to be a great match. Noam Dar has been leaning so heavy into the comedy and being distraught that it's actually, you forget he's been so damn talented in getting the metaphor over and building this aura and the story around the Heritage Cup. You kind of forget that, this is like one of the best wrestlers in NXT.
This is one of those moments I miss Alfred being here, because Alfred will make a joke about how excited Noam Dar is that Jade Cargill signed with WWE. I'm sorry, he's not here no more. So every once in a while I have to come in and do.
Can you give me a heads up when you're going to be a little problematic?
I'm never problematic, Glenn.
Just a little. But this was a great match to open the show. And who do you got between Butch and Noam Dar? What do you think?
Butch. I'm rooting for Butch all the way.
Yes. See, if you weren't going to Bakersfield, you'd have a sign and it would say Butch.
Yes.
I would get you a button and you could just have people press it and it would say Butch in your name.
Butch,
yeah.
Butch.
Yeah.
That could be the shit as they're wrestling.
Yeah.
I'm a little sad that they're going to go back to I forgot, because the tournament has been going on for so long that I already forgot what the Heritage Cup rules are. So when they wrestle on Saturday, I'm not going to be able to watch it. I'll watch it after, but I'm going to feel a little lost.
Then this was great. We had Dominic Mysterio gloating about his win over Dragon Lee last night on Raw with his black eye.
So badass. Dirty Dom.
Looks like the kind of guy that's been to jail.
He has been. He's a criminal.
I know. He's selling it. And then he didn't know there was a #1 contenders match later tonight, and he got pissed off.
And he said chicken tendies.
Yes.
I love that. Dominic is just literally me.
This is amazing to me. The two of the most built up factions in NXT don't have a match on the card for No Mercy in Bakersfield, in case you didn't know it was in Bakersfield. But tonight, Joe Gacy was enhancement talent, jobbing out to Trick Williams in his first match of the night. And look, if Ava Raine doesn't take over Schism, this is done for, right?
Agreed. I thought Joe Gacy looked good here, but this was just to put over. Trick Williams has so much momentum right now that at no time. The problem is that at no time I thought, oh, Joe Gacy might win here. And I find myself thinking that every time Joe Gacy is in the ring.
He got some stuff in, but Ava Raine, it was funny that she came out with a mask. She doesn't even want to be associated with him anymore.
Or Bakersfield.
Yeah, or Bakersfield. They got to do something. Schism needs a hard reboot, preferably with Ava at the helm. This is just sad now. They had the stuff with
they have no purpose
Creed
other than sitting under a tree.
Yeah, the stuff with Creed was fun, and the followers, and that was only a month or two ago. That wasn't that long. That was 6 weeks ago.
It all fell apart.
I know. And
they had 20 people around the ring. Where are they all at? Did they leave the cult? Did they not pay the fees?
Can two people be a cult?
Yeah, you and I are a cult.
Okay, there you go. But we have our followers. The cult of NXT.
Oh, the Yellow Jackets boss.
Yeah, see? But a cult, man, I just felt we
have more followers than freaking Schism.
I'm glad for Trick Williams, but
he looked great.
Yeah, he did, but I felt sad for Joe Gacy and Schism during this match.
I didn't. I want Ava to just break out of this. They gotta figure out it's not working.
Joe Gacy, don't answer your phone for the next couple weeks.
Oh no, don't say that. I hope they're done with that.
I hope so too. I think Ava is safe, but I worry about Joe, who I might be related to.
I wonder why Ava you would assume she's safe automatically.
Oh, no reason.
Anyway,
well, actually, no. You know what? Honestly, even if not for her bloodline, as it were, even if not for that, because the failure of Schism as a long-term gimmick isn't going to blow back on her.
Right.
But Joe was the guy. So,
right.
Yeah.
So it can fall apart and she can still go out and do her own thing. I think that she has proven that she can hang on her own. We've seen her cut some promos. We've seen her in the ring. You know what I mean? I think it's time that eventually they cut this off and let her go on her own. The women's division right now is hot. And with Becky Lynch there's so many opportunities for some of these girls to prove themselves. I want Ava to be one of them.
Well, Trick Williams won this match. The crowd electric. And then he said he's betting on Mello to win and retain his title at NXT. But Trick wants a title of his own. Yeah. And he's like, I'm going to go see somebody. So look, you know where this is all headed. In fact, Dominic Mysterio, if you think he has heat now, if he retains Saturday.
Oh my God. I kind of want him to.
He will be the biggest heel in all of professional wrestling.
I kind of want him to, but it has to be with crazy shenanigans. I think you can run the story for longer than just this, because Trick, was the right choice to win tonight, but I don't know that he should win the title on his first shot. I'm not saying he should lose clean either. No,
I mean, what they did with Mello and that slip of the tongue he had later in the night.
Oh my God.
We know where this is going.
Yeah.
And in fact, I have a feeling after tonight, I think Mello is on his way out of NXT. I think D'Angelo and Stax are going to get called up sooner rather than later. NXT, especially when they're bringing in Pillman Jr., NXT has too much talent. It is ridiculous.
Yeah,
how good the roster is right now.
It's like a toxic relationship with NXT, because you get used to this roster, then they take them away because they're ready, they graduate, and then you have to start over again, learn the character. We've been doing this with NXT, at least for me, since 2015 is when I really fell in love with it. It's getting toxic. Every year I'm like, okay, I got my guys, I got my characters, I love this show, and then they take them all away.
But look at what they've done since December in the women's division, when first Mandy Rose left, and then we had the string of injuries that took out a lot of the top contenders and the brighter talents. NXT's women's division has bounced back.
Yeah, but even when Mandy left, we were pretty high up on Tiffany already.
Yeah.
We knew we knew Tiffy time was coming.
But it's good, man. It's really good right now. And then we had Baron Corbin versus Josh Briggs.
Yeah.
Corbin winning.
Of course he did. Did you see that elevator end of days? It was beautiful. He like hit it higher, like you knew he wanted to end.
Okay, Breaker is kicking out of the end of the days. He could be the second person.
No, you stop that. Don't you put that evil on me, Glenn. Don't you put that evil on me. Do you realize that I have not let go of the fact that Drew McIntyre kicked out of it, and that was like 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago?
He has to kick out of it.
No. If Baron Corbin's not winning, I have a feeling they're gonna make this an ODQ match at this point after the ending of the show. First of all,
yeah.
But no, if it's not winning, then let him hit the Deep Six instead of the end of days, because everybody kicks out of the Deep Six. But don't you take it back, Glenn. Take it back right now. You manifested.
I hope you're right. I hope.
I'm sorry.
Look, Baron Corbin, I tweeted this the other day. Tag the man, because I'm so confident in this. Baron Corbin's not leaving NXT after he loses. Braun Breaker might be leaving NXT. Baron Corbin isn't leaving NXT. He needs to make his gimmick that he is the anti-gimmick guy. And he just goes and starts talking to everyone and is like, yo, so Kiana James, like, so you run a business, you do this and ask questions, and then be like, this is a wrestling company. Why? Who cares? What you do in your off time? Fight Tony D'Angelo, you're in the mob. Do that in your off time. This is a wrestling company. He just needs to be the anti-gimmick guy, and it'll be great.
I love Baron Corbin. End of days, one of my favorite finishers. Braun Breaker will not kick out of it. But this was a great match. But it did what it needed to do. I had a feeling that Baron Corbin was going over here. I'm a big fan of and I even said it, that I was looking for the match that I was looking forward to at that point the most at No Mercy was Braun Breaker versus Baron Corbin. You know, I love my big meaty men slapping meat. But the build for it has been fantastic. I love Braun Breaker coming out at the end of this match and just no talk. He just started attacking him. I'm a fan of that. I like violence. You know what I'm saying, Glenn?
I feel you. Okay. So before that, we had a backstage segment with Andre Chase and Duke Hudson looking for Thea Hale. Gacy revealed Thea in an all-black ensemble and teased her new ring gear for tonight.
It was weird. It's weird for me.
Yes.
I thought she looked great. She looked beautiful. Both of her new ensembles were great. But man, I keep thinking, like, I remember the little video clip of her graduating high school, picking where she was gonna go, and it's just like, you're too young. Stop this right now.
Andre Chase should have ran out with a trench coat and tossed it over her.
I'm not a very maternal person, right?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
But I felt that at that moment, like my dad still to this day at this age will ask me, where's the rest of your pants? Or something like that every time I come see. I felt that way when I saw Thea Hale tonight. When I was just like, somebody cover her up. This girl's like 19 years old.
It was surprising. But it wasn't surprising when Braun Breaker attacked Corbin after his match, after Corbin
it was beautiful.
ran.
I loved it.
Trick went to see Shawn Michaels. We had a preview of the Extreme Rules match between Tiffany Stratton and Becky Lynch. Then we had...
Did you just talk about the video package?
Yes.
I'm sorry, because I wasn't a fan of some of the promos that Tiffany Stratton was cutting. And she does better work backstage than she was doing like in-ring promos, right? Again, shout out to the editing team, because if you show me this video package and I haven't been watching NXT, I'm hyped going into No Mercy. Excellent video package. I do think the rivalry has been great, but the way that they edit and pick the right clips to make this sound like a crazy year-long rivalry, excellently done. Like, they really managed to hype up the match without having them there.
We got to see Out the Mud tonight. Who's going to get a seat at the family's table? We got to see Out the Mud.
Oh.
against Hank and Tank.
Oh, Wanker.
Yes.
Oh, Wanker and the Bodega Boys.
Yes. So Price and Nima tonight out the mud. Beat Hank and Tank dominantly, and then Scripps started talking shit into the camera.
He's from the streets now. We lost him. He belongs in the streets.
This would all work so much better if the last 6 months of his career hadn't happened.
Right, agreed. But it's getting there. He's convincing us.
But why did they keep the name? I don't.
Scripps sounds pretty street. It even rhymes with streets. Scripps from the streets.
Scripps. Look, I get if that's really was his nickname and that I was trying to sell it, but it's just like the like.
I don't know. Rage Gangster, you can tell.
Okay.
This isn't a gimmick. This is a
out the mud.
Glenn.
Out the mud is hard. They come across as legitimately like, they were.
Yeah,
they were
gonna mess stuff up at that nice Italian restaurant.
Yes, they were.
I don't care.
So when Out the Mud won, they're getting the seat at the table tonight for the D'Angelo vignettes, which were so good. We'll talk about them a little bit more. Gigi Dolan was stretching backstage, and babyface Gigi Dolan, the way she had her hair. But she was attacked by Blair Davenport.
I love that.
It was good.
We just need to give Blair a couple of wins.
I know.
But if she's gonna like keep taking her opponents out before the match, how are we supposed to get her to like get some wins so we can make her a believable contender? Yes. But she's working that heel, baby. Becky Lynch is the ultimate baby face. If she's gonna retain on Saturday, you do need some heels to work against her. Mm-hmm. So Blair Davenport is getting there.
At the Italian restaurant, Umberto and Angel explained the scratch logos on their chest are a tribute to their grandfather.
Their tattoos, they're still there, Glenn. They are Los Lobos Locos.
The Creed brothers showed up, took a seat at the table.
Yeah. Oh my God, they were so funny. They were good. So funny. I actually really like the Creed brothers here talking about like, this is better than mom's cooking.
This was the most entertaining the Creed brothers have ever been.
Do you think Tony would have been mad at me if I ordered chicken tendies?
Well, you would have said like, can I have a chicken parmesan minus the sauce, minus the cheese?
Yeah, just the chicken.
You just want a breaded chicken
breast? Can you
breast?
please cut it and slice it?
You always cut it in slices, yeah. And can I have some ketchup with that or ranch dressing, please? Maybe some honey mustard.
I still can't barely eat anything, Glenn. It's been a nightmare week for me.
I know. I'm sorry.
All I see is just floating food everywhere. That's all I think about.
I attempted to fast for Yom Kippur on Monday.
How'd that go?
I was gonna do no water, no food, as you're supposed to do.
Right.
And then I was remembering, like, oh yeah, I've been to the ER for dehydration before, so no water for 25 hours is probably a terrible idea.
Yeah, well, it's all I've been consuming, literally water, right? So and then hear me out, Glenn.
Yeah.
I go on this diet. I can only eat like a portion this big once a day of something really crappy, and then the doctor yells at me for losing weight. And I'm like, you put me on this diet. What do you expect was gonna happen?
Did they give you some high calorie food or something to supplement?
No.
That's crazy. Because you think they would be like, here's a 3,000 calorie shake to drink every day or something.
No.
Weird.
No.
Okay.
And then they yelled at me. I'm like, what do you want me to do? Like, I had the most sarcastic and was like, well, you need to. And I'm like, no, I don't need to do nothing. You put me in this regimen, bro. Anyways, we don't need to share my personal problems. I just thought it was funny. Like, you put me on a super strict diet and you yelled at me for losing weight. You need to F off.
Here's the joke made in every Jewish household every Yom Kippur. And I encourage you, if you're not Jewish, say this to your Jewish friends the day after Yom Kippur. And you have to repeat this verbatim. Why is it called a fast if it goes by so slow?
I feel you. I'm not Jewish, but I feel you right now.
My entire life. That's the joke.
I'm basically freaking fasting right now. I'm surviving on Fiji water, okay?
My father's not the funniest person. Sunday evening sent me a text that said, welcome to the Jewish Hunger Games.
I love that, actually.
It's pretty good. So tonight we gotta get back to NXT because NXT was really, really good tonight. In case you haven't heard us say that 1,000 times. Tyler Bate and Axiom have respect for each other. before the match, the Fatal 4-Way that Trick Williams got added to. Trick says he's going to be the #1 contender.
It sounded like you said Trick Williams got attitude.
He does have attitude. He has attitude, and he got added too.
Yeah.
Dijak versus Eddie Thorpe in a strap
match.
God.
Oh my God. This was the worst thing I ever seen.
Really?
Yes, they barely used the strap. How do you finish a devastating violent strap match with an elbow drop? Come on, Glenn. Children were crying because it wasn't violent enough.
That's why Eddie Thorpe's niece was crying.
Yes.
I liked this match fine. I think they have intensity between these guys. But yes, it was not the best strap match.
It was lame.
But here's what I didn't like. Eddie Thorpe wins, and then Dijak beats him down and stands tall.
It should have ended that way, with him hanging there and Dijak beating him. That's how you end these kind of matches. That was a big take. Like, I'm sorry, we just saw a strap match between Bryan and Starks, and that was a classic. To go to this, let me finish with an L. You didn't even choke him out or nothing with the strap. It was stupid. They didn't use the strap for like the first 5 minutes. He was beating up the tree.
Okay.
He doesn't freaking use the strap. I didn't like it. I
just really didn't appreciate the finish and the idea of both guys look strong.
Right.
NXT is BK, have it your way.
You know who doesn't look strong? Eddie Thorpe's knees. I'm sorry, that's not.
This was a bit overhyped compared to what we got. But again, like, you know, on a lesser show, this could have been the standout match.
No, it would have not stood out anywhere. Not as a strap match. And then he takes out a belt and starts beating him with that. Don't make it a strap match. Make it like another DQ match and then just use that. I didn't
It's like he had a second strap.
Yeah.
So, Thea Hale debuted her new look.
I told you how I feel about that.
Protective, I get it.
Yeah.
Danny Palmer entered.
No idea who she was.
She's been on Level Up a lot. I thought she actually looked great tonight. You know why? She did a flip in her entrance. I assume that's a tribute to Dana Brooke. No,
it was very aggressive.
I know she's been doing the flip.
The camera was there next to you, and she's like right on your face. I was like, what just happened?
I would like to see more.
If they ever do like a sequel to Flipper, they should call her.
Not a sequel to Stick It, the gymnastics movie. No, Stick It was Bring It On for gymnastics.
50 Cent once says, the way I flip the money over, you should call me Flipper.
Yes. But Danny Palmer, I want to see more of her matches now. She's been on Level Up a lot. She's had, I think, some minor matches maybe on NXT. But Blair Davenport was on commentary saying
we couldn't hear her.
Gigi Dolan not cleared after her attack.
She should have like properly put on the headset so that we could actually hear her.
Love Thea Hale's new music.
Yeah, I did too.
That was dope. Is Thea Hale singing that? I want to find out who's singing that. But I love when wrestlers sing their own theme.
Okay.
Going back to HBK, which is the weirdest.
Well, Vince McMahon tried to sing that song.
Yeah.
You know that, right? You know that story about there's a version of that song sang by Vince McMahon.
I didn't know that. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Release that.
I know.
WWE stock will come right back. But Thea Hale's new look. Like they've played her up as such an innocent character. This was like more shocking than the end of the movie Grease.
And she stopped doing drugs.
What's
like
that?
She stopped doing crack or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. I do love John Cena's theme. John Cena's theme is incredible.
Oh no. I prefer Mr. Thuganomics. Like that was better.
In fact, every wrestler should have to sing their own theme. Every wrestler should have to sing their own theme.
Basic Thuganomics.
Thea Hale, like
I'm untouchable, but I'm forcing you to feel me, bro. That line goes hard. Come I'm sorry.
It's okay. Okay.
I freaking love that song.
Thea Hale, it was a very different look, but yes, how they've played her character to date, I think everyone felt protective and just kind of like, oh, this is I'm not ready for her to grow up yet.
But did you like at first when she first debuted her clothes and like Andre Chase was like, you look nice. Like he was trying to be the supportive older brother when he's like, please take that off right now.
But she had this match against Danny Palmer. She won. Danny Palmer still looked good in defeat.
Good for her.
I'm adding her to the list of NXT women's talent that
you're keeping an eye on.
Man, okay. It's NXT is so good.
It is.
NXT is so good.
Get to Bakersfield, Glenn. You know you want to.
I'm sorry?
Go to Bakersfield.
I know, I really want to go to Bakersfield. So, okay. Thea Hale won. Trick very excited about success earlier tonight in the main event. And then we had that North American title match. Before that, Baron Corbin was about to be interviewed. Braun Breaker came flying in the frame, taking him out. Then we had this number one it's like the Family Guy chicken fight. So Axiom, Tyler Bate, Dragon Lee, Trick Williams, incredible match. Everybody got their stuff in, but come on, like, do I even need to tell you who won? Everyone knows who won this match.
Yeah, but it's not even about what. Like, yeah, Trick Williams wins. He becomes the number one contender. Awesome for him. Which, by the way, I was a little salty before the match started when he tried to get some words of encouragement from Melo, and Melo completely ignored him. I didn't like that. But this match was everything. If you didn't watch any of NXT tonight, you only have time to watch one thing, go watch this match. This match was a lot of fun. Everybody looked incredible. At one point, everybody looked like they could win. Tyler Bate got dropped on his head like 3 times. There was one that looked real scary. They just got back up and kept going like nothing happened. But yeah, Trick Williams gets the win here. But this was the match of the night for me.
Yeah, this was really good, and I love what they're doing with this story.
Me too.
I think Trick versus Dominic is going to be a really good match. There's going to be shenanigans. Okay, here's the question.
Okay.
If Judgment Day comes out, and at best, maybe, I mean, we're not getting Rhea. Maybe we'll get Rhea. Probably not getting Rhea.
I'll probably get Cody Rhodes because he can never mind his own business. He'll come to help Trick for no reason.
I was going to say, like, it's bad if it's like JD McDonough that's coming out.
No, it's going to be freaking Cody Rhodes because he's everywhere.
But does Melo come out and help Trick keep them out of interfering?
No, because that's not going to be the main event, and Melo's going to be the main event, and that's going to be the reason why we keep Melo away from this.
That would be
Melo has to focus on his own match. You
know what? I could see a scenario where Dominic wins due to interference, and then Trick is mad at Melo
for not
helping him. That's right. Good. We're talking this through. We're figuring it out. That's how you have.
I think Melo and Dragunov are the main event. So they
definitely are.
It makes perfect sense to keep Melo away from this because he's focusing and you gotta do a backstage interaction, kind of like what you did here today, where Melo was like, "I have a lot going on. I gotta focus on my own stuff." You know?
Yeah. Intriguing. This could go a lot of different ways. This was a really good match, and then we followed this up with the Italian restaurant with Out the Mud coming in. And the family, everyone was getting along pretty well, having a pretty good time. And I don't know why, because Tony D'Angelo even said, like, this is probably a bad idea. This is a dumb move, but we're going to make this a 4-way tag match, meaning they don't have to get pinned to lose this, which makes me think they're going to the main roster soon. Because
but my favorite thing was Script and his boys saying, well, we don't beg for title shots. We take it, and then they get up, and then it gets real mafia when Tony just calls the rest of the family. I love that part so much.
I mean, the family didn't look that hard. Like the family, like all was missing was Joey Fatone. Like this was not the most in shape mafia crime family.
They got crowbars and they're packing heat. You know they are. They don't have to say it.
It's implied. Yeah. There's an implication.
But I still like how this voice came off. Like, hey, listen, the food didn't look good, by the way. Alicia just mentioned in the chat. There was like, did you see the meatballs that were like this big?
I think, oh man, who's eating the pin?
Probably
Los Lotharios.
Los Locos.
They're probably eating the pin.
1000%.
Because that's how their reboot's going. But what if after the match, then they turn into werewolves?
Well, they have to go through with the whole thing. Hair.
Yes. Full Teen Wolf.
Oh my God. Is there a full moon on Saturday? Hold on.
That would be incredible. Like the lights go out, and then when the lights come back on, they're in like full Teen Wolf like gear.
Full moon September 29th. Is that on Saturday? No, it's on Friday.
Oh man.
Maybe they're coming as wolves already.
You know, I saw something. I got targeted an ad on Twitter for retractable fangs that pop out. So maybe like they got like wolf teeth, you know?
They don't work.
You've tried retractable fangs?
Yeah. When I dressed up as a vampire one.
Okay. I don't know. This could be interesting to see what happens with this. But yeah, I think they're eating the pin.
Maybe Creed Brothers. Didn't they beat the Creed Brothers? No, they beat Gallus. You're right. It's probably Los Lobos Locos.
Man, I love Tony D and Stax, but they haven't really booked them that well.
You're manifesting bad things today, Glenn.
No, they should retain. But I mean, they've had more vignettes than they have matches.
Right.
In the history of Tony D's character. And Tony D is a goddamn superstar.
Yeah.
He could be the one to take the belt off Roman.
I need you to relax.
Main event of Mania. Tony D'Angelo and the family.
Take it back.
So I think I'm excited to see what happens with this match. It does seem without the mud, they really are high on these guys. I could see them winning. I could see them just going for it with this.
We'll see.
Yeah. Then we had the No Mercy contract signing.
Underwhelming. Good back and forth, but we heard these guys say this to each other already.
I know. I did like before then the Dominic backstage saying that he runs NXT before Dragon Lee attacked him.
He does. And Dragon Lee needs to relax.
Yes.
Like now he's going to be the special guest referee. He has like 18 freaking chances at this title. What is he doing? Why does he have a ponytail attached to his mask? I have a lot of questions about Dragon Lee.
Okay. Valid. All valid. So, we had that short blink and you miss it. 15-second tease for Brian Pillman Jr. WCW Saturday Night Footage, Cincinnati Bengals, playing. So I think Pillman maybe shows up Saturday. Maybe he, you know what? He could be the one to take it off Dominic if Trick doesn't succeed.
So saying if Dom is winning.
Yeah, I kind of feel like it. Ooh, what if Priest cashed in on Dominic?
Stop. You need to stop right now.
You wouldn't do that on NXT. Okay, so the best thing about this contract signing was that
Melo messed up.
Carmelo Hayes kept saying, I'm not, this guy, I'm not this guy.
Before. I'm not this, I'm not that,
not
I'm
Trick.
not Trick Williams. Did you hear the audience like audibly gasp? I loved it because I did too.
Yeah. It was very exciting. And I think
but contract signing wise, underwhelming. That little seed planted there, very important.
Very important.
If Dragunov doesn't win, does he become completely like, I don't know, like, because he said this before. We've seen this intensity, but he never wins.
So with how hot NXT is right now and how much they want this rights renegotiation, is NXT added to Survivor Series this year?
Oh my God, I would love that.
I think they have to do it.
I mean, if you look at Monday Night Raw and the way that it ended, I feel like they're going to have war games way before because like it's a mess within people, right? So if you're gonna bring Survivor Series back to its original form of 5 versus 5, I mean, adding NXT will be the right thing to do.
Yeah.
And it will put it will create conflict because you have main roster people that are holding NXT titles. So which side of the fence are they going to put them? Which team are they going to play for? Like I would love it.
Yeah, I think it could be really good. You could do war games with 3 factions.
Yeah, you can.
I mean, it's such a cluster F anyhow of a match. At that point, it's like a half Royal Rumble inside a cage.
Technically, yeah.
You could also do war games with the war games match could be separate from the Survivor Series match in the multi-brand action.
Correct. But I don't know that they can like keep these factions fighting like this until the end of November.
I don't know.
Yeah.
So after this,
yes,
we know
the
Dragon is going to be
lot
the special
strikes
referee.
Again.
And then in the parking lot, Braun Breaker threw Baron Corbin into a car, denting the car.
Into a Kia.
Kia dents pretty easily.
Yeah, clearly. Neither one of those guys is car. Obviously, when Baron Corbin was trying to get in there, I'm like, Baron Corbin, that's not your car. It's a Kia. He knows all the low blow.
Yeah. Yeah.
I loved it. And some of the commentary was screaming, we need more security out here. They weren't security, they were referees. They were just standing around screaming. At no point did they really try to stop the fight.
Yeah, so they went car door, parking lot, crawling into the backstage, through a wall into the office of HBK.
Yeah.
Like, this was pretty epic. Man, like, let me just run down the card for a second. And this is what was great about tonight, was that everything, we had a couple things that didn't involve No Mercy, but every match got a significant build. In fact, the match that got the least build tonight was Becky Lynch versus Tiffany Stratton. That just got the
It doesn't need it. It doesn't need it.
Yeah, you just say Becky Lynch, that's a draw.
Yeah.
So we got Noam Dar versus Butch. You got Butch to win the Heritage Cup.
Yes. What about you?
Yeah. Well, although Noam Dar's an NXT talent, Butch is a SmackDown talent.
SmackDown. He's on SmackDown, Butch.
Yeah, that's why I say he's a SmackDown talent.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Like, the Brawling Brutes got business. You know what I mean? Not that the Heritage Cup needs to be defended. Like, so he could do that and bounce. But we got the family versus OTM, Creed, and Los Lotharios, Los Lobos Locos, as we talked about. Yeah, I think we could be very surprised by the outcome. Yeah, if the D'Angelos don't win, I think OTM wins that match.
Well, my prediction is Tony and Stacks, but we'll see how it goes. I'm just giving you who I want to win. Okay. I'm not even predicting. It's just who I'm rooting for.
Dirty Dom versus Trick Williams. We talked about that. I almost want to see Trick lose now. Yeah, because that's going to be... It's going to be a Trick versus Mello could be an all-time NXT feud.
Yep.
Becky Lynch versus Tiffany Stratton.
Becky.
Yeah, Becky. Until they get that check for the rights to NXT, I think Becky's champ.
Yep.
Unless Becky loses and then Charlotte goes down to NXT to challenge Tiffany.
Stop it right now. Charlotte already had a run with this NXT
title. Okay, Braun Breaker versus Baron Corbin.
I got Baron Corbin.
Wait, you think Baron Corbin's going to beat Braun Breaker at a...
Yes, with the end of days, Glenn.
Baron Corbin, I love you. We've been following each other for years, but Braun Breaker's winning this match.
Wow. I swear I have an event that I'm going to be at, but I have somebody that's going to be texting me the results. I will FaceTime you when Baron Corbin wins.
Here's the deal. Baron, I also want to make this clear. I don't really like Braun Breaker that much. I think he's overrated. I believe in
Baron Corbin.
And I think Braun Breaker's been forced, but it's clear to me that as part of this push that Braun Breaker's getting, this is going to get him. This is going to be the good news. Baron Corbin is going to still thrive in NXT, but I think Braun Breaker, I think this is it for him.
I think you're wrong.
Okay, maybe Survivor Series is going to be.
Baron Corbin is honorary Puerto Rican. Did you know that?
That's interesting. I did not know that.
His wife is Puerto Rican.
Oh,
And when I talked to him, he started talking to me about all the food he learned how to cook. He started talking to me
Okay.
about restaurants in Puerto Rico he visits. I can never root against the guy.
No, I love Baron Corbin. I
You clearly don't.
Look, bum-ass Corbin, one of the top 5 gimmicks in WWE in the last 10 years.
You pick Braun.
No, I just think Braun is gonna.
Puerto Rican. I love
that. So, and then Carmelo Hayes versus Ilya Dragunov. Hayes has to retain.
Yeah, but I also feel like if Dragunov loses, what do you do with him?
Dragunov, see, I could see him getting called up to the main roster either, and it'll be terrible because they'll just like put him in Imperium.
They won't put him there, but they'll have him feud with Gunther again.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, I would like to see Carmelo retain, but I fear for what happens to Dragunov because he has all this intensity. He promises all these wins, but he always loses. It's going to be a banger. The wrestling is going to be great. The stories I could develop from it, it's going to be great. I'm excited for No Mercy in Bakersfield, California.
Let's all go to Bakersfield, everyone. We'll have a masked meetup outside before the premium live event.
Like a cult.
Like a cult. It'll be the cult that I'm not catching COVID. Still haven't got it. Never gonna, like En Vogue, never gonna get it. So that was NXT this week. Issa, how could everyone support you and find you?
NYC Demon Diva across all social media platforms. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel. I do watch-alongs for most shows. I will not be doing a watch-along for No Mercy because I will be at Septiembre Negro. That's WWC's event here in Puerto Rico. It will be on Fight TV. I'm going to be doing some backstage interviews so you can buy the pay-per-view or you can attend live. The links are on my pin X tweet. I don't know what we call it, but you guys can check it out over there. Yeah, and subscribe to my YouTube.
There you go. You can find me at Glenn Rubenstein, and as everyone knows, the original, the OGs are back together. Raj Giri, Matt Morgan, and myself, Gigantic Pop on YouTube. Going to be posting a clip from this week's episode. Amazing story of Matt Morgan's Jerry Maguire moment, his trajectory of getting released from WWE, what that was like, and then ultimately what happened when they asked him to come back.
Has he told the story about the time he got shot?
We'll get back into that.
Okay.
That's what's amazing about doing the podcast, because it's like, oh yeah, Matt, tell him about this. Oh yeah, tell him about this. I remember every little anecdote.
You and Matt on stereo. That was something to
crazy.
Always remember.
Yeah, we got some of that energy. And Raj is there too, just to throw cold water over everything. Raj has never been in a fight. We found that out in episode 3 about the Karate Kid. Raj has never been punched in the face. He's never been in a fight.
Wow.
Explains a lot.
Have you been in a fight?
I've been in quite a few fights when I was a kid.
Hey, Glenn, that's my guy. I've been on a couple of fights too. I won them all.
There you go. So check that out, Gigantic Pop. Tomorrow night, AEW coverage. The two of us will be back Friday night. Friday, I'll be preparing for my drive to Bakersfield the next day. Question mark? We'll see. Have a good one, everyone. We'll catch you back here next time on the Wrestling Inc. podcast.